Hello guys, I am back from another video and today we'll talk about a brand new series called What If Deku Had a Symbiote? So, in this series, well, by the thumbnail that you see here, Izuku has two different symbiotes. One is Anti-Venom and the other one is Carnage. So, let's start with the video. Okay guys? So, we're going to start in the Marvel universe, where two different symbiotes are fighting, including a certain, superhero by the name of Spider-Man. So, Spider-Man sees, both Carnage and Anti-Venom fighting, as Anti-Venom tells Spider-Man, "Spider-Man, try and take down Carnage immediately." As Spider-Man says, "Okie dokie," as he starts spitting out webs. Carnage starts laughing a little bit, saying, "You really think that you can actually beat me?" As he starts creating spikes from his arms, creating almost like, Wolverine-type claws. As he starts slicing a bit of, Anti-Venom's, symbiote. As, Anti-Venom slices a part of, Cletus Cassidy's, symbiote, Carnage, which everybody sees a little black portal appear and causes both of the pieces of the symbiote that basically fell into the portal. As both of the symbiotes basically notice it, as they say, "What the hell was that?" As Anti-Venom says, "Who bloody cares? I'm gonna take you down, Carnage, and your terrible ruling." He says, "Bye-bye," as he basically disappears. So yeah, so let's go to the My Hero Academia verse. So Izuku is basically quirkless, just like in canon, but unlike his only parent being his mother, instead it's his father. But his father, he neglected him because, he was busy at work most of the time. So, Izuku always has to, had to learn how to, take care of himself. Most of the people there in his neighborhood just despise him because he was quirkless. So, Izuku got in this mentality of this pathos, he calls it. And that pathos is, it's killed or be killed. Because, one time, Bakugo, his used to be childhood friend, became his bully. Basically bullying him ever since he heard that Izuku was quirkless. And then one day, apparently, Bakugo wanted to kill Izuku, but not really want to kill him, but more hurting him. So, Bakugo and his goons started bullying him, and by the way, he was like, how about, wait for a second, guys. So, they're, 7 years old right now, where Bakugo is basically bullying him in the playground. Everybody else in, his, age group, basically his classmates, basically ignore it, because, who bloody cares? He's a quirkless kid. Nobody cares about a quirkless kid. Until, Bakugo causes something, something terrible. He basically uses his full power and basically, shoot it right at Izuku's, chest, where his heart should be. And basically, kills him. Every one of the kids basically starts screaming as some of the teachers start arriving as they see Izuku dead on the ground with Bakugo with blood on his hands. So yeah. So Izuku's father is basically there telling, Mitsuki, why did your son try to kill mine? As she's trying to apologize, as Bakugo is basically in the corner of the room, basically traumatized because, he killed somebody. So because of that, he thinks he's a villain. or at least some of his classmates think. So, wait for a second, guys. So, his father basically goes into, well, the cafeteria to try and find some food for Izuku. So, Izuku is basically there in the hospital room. Basically, well, wait for a second. Well, Izuku is basically, well, in a coma. He has several, well, machines hooked up to him to try and save his life. Mitsuki is basically crying because, well, she and Inko were best friends, and her own son tried to kill her best friend's son. Well, infuriated her. She was crying all the way, so she left and decided to, well, go back home. So Izuku is basically all alone in the hospital room. Well, the portal basically came out of nowhere as the two of the symbiotes basically go inside of Izuku's wound. Both of the symbiotes, being the Carnage symbiote and the Anti-Venom symbiote, which basically combine together, which I'm gonna be calling this symbiote. What's a great name? So, wait, there. I'm gonna be calling this symbiote Diablo Sanguinis, which is basically the Latin name for, well, or the Latin translation to, well, the devil of blood, because, well, it kind of makes sense because, well, apparently Carnage's symbiote is basically a part of, Cletus Cassidy's blood now, so he can just make a copy of, Carnage just by using his own blood. And because of, anti-venom, because, Venom's, creation comes from, white blood cells. So, yeah, I'm gonna be calling, this symbiote's Diablos Sanguinis. So, two of the symbiotes combine to create Diablos Sanguinis. So, they basically start healing Izuku up. So, Izuku basically wakes up as Izuku says, "What the heck happened? Oh, I only remember Bakugo hurting me." As when Izuku's father, Asashi, basically comes back from the cafeteria, he basically drops the food as he says, "You're alive! Please, Izuku, are you really alive?" As Izuku says, "Yeah, Dad, where am I?" As he basically tells Izuku that he's in the hospital. So they basically go to sleep at the hospital because, well, he has to stay in the hospital for several weeks. So Izuku is basically sleeping as Izuku sees, well, two of his symbiotes, Carnage and Anti-Venom. Also known as to his mix symbiote, which I'm just gonna be calling Diablo Sanguinis, basically says to Izuku, "Hello. So, you must be our host." Izuku says, who are you? Are you my quirk?" As they say, "Quirk? What the heck is a quirk?" Izuku basically explains what it is this world. As the more sadistic side, which is the Carnage type side, says, "Interesting." So, in this world, there's power. So much power, in fact. Izuku starts to get a little bit afraid. As the more serious slash, more protective side, which is the anti-venom side, basically says, "Sorry about that. It seems that I mixed with, the Carnage symbiote." Izuku says, "What are symbiotes?" He basically, the anti-venom side basically explains what are symbiotes. As Izuku says, "So you're aliens?" as they say, yes. So we apparently gone into this world. Interesting. As the as the more sadistic side basically says, yeah, we can't wait to have some fun here. Azuka says, please don't do that. It's kind of creepy. As they say, sure. But it seems that your so-called quirks, or at least in your case, it seems that you don't have a quirk. Izuku says, yeah, I'm quirkless. Being quirkless here is basically meaning life or death. Basically, people that are quirkless are deemed as useless. As Anti-Venom basically comforts him, as he says, don't worry. Maybe I can reawaken your quirk, or at least a little bit of it. Izuku says, really? As Anti-Venom says, yes. I'm a mix of, well, two different symbiotes. One worn by, well, Cletus Cassidy, and the other one worn by Eddie Brock. Izuku says, who are they? They basically explain who are Eddie Brock and, well, Cletus Cassidy. Izuku thinks his mind, so one of your sides is basically a sadistic murderer, and the other one is, as he says, yes. So, are you ready? Izuku says, yes. So, in his mind, it basically, well, creates a little door. And when the, how do I say it? Wait for a second. So, he basically creates a key from his arm, basically resembling, well, the Carnage symbiote wrapping around his arm and creating a little key. So, he basically opens the door and sees fire. Lots and lots of fire, which kind of burns the Carnage symbiote. But if you didn't know, well, the Carnage or any type of other symbiote has an inherent, well, weakness to, well, fire and sound. So, because of Izuku's, well, dormant quirk, which is a fire quirk, basically makes him immune to, well, fire, or at least the symbiotes. So, Izuku touches it as Izuku's mind basically, or his outside self, basically starts breathing out fire, which Asashi is basically woken up by hearing fire as rest of the, well, the hospital staff basically try and stop him from, well, burning the whole hospital down. Izuku wakes up as Izuku says, what the heck? What is happening? As they say, oh, did you unlock your quirk? As one of the doctors says, interesting. It seems that you activated your dormant quirk. It's probably because of your accident. So, yeah. So, Izuku thinks in his mind, so, it is true. I do have something inside me. Izuku basically smiles a little bit, but not a normal type of smile. It's more sadistic. And by the way, I'm not going to make Izuku a villain or something else. He's going to be a straight hero. So yeah. So after a few weeks, Izuku came back to, well, to his house and basically starts writing down his whole, well, dream. As Izuku basically thinks in his mind, so I got some sort of, well, creature or symbiote inside of me. Guess this is going to be my brand new life then. So yeah, so I hope you liked the video, comment and subscribe, and I hope to see you all guys next time. And also guys, I want you all to pick a ship for this for this what if. I'm going to put in my community tab what is that called? You have to vote on it, okay? I will putting a post on my community tab, okay? Bye.